Texas Governor Greg Abbott has asked other states to send him help at the southern border, which I think is a good and reasonable request, that we don't leave this up to just border states to contend with when the immigration crisis and the border security crisis impacts every single state in the union. So Governor Greg Abbott, he sent out this plea urging the nation's governors to help support Texas's unprecedented border security efforts in the wake of President Joe Biden ending Title 42 last week. He goes on to say in the letter that he sent out, saying the flood of illegal border activity invited by the Biden administration flows directly across the southern border into Texas communities. But this crisis does not stop in our state, which is true. In the federal government's absence, we as governors must band together to combat President Biden's ongoing border crisis and ensure the safety and security that all Americans deserve. And it turns out that a couple of folks have any guesses on what states have come to Texas's assistance? Not
California and Washington.
No.
Shocking.
Florida. So this is a story from the Texas Tribune. Greg Abbott asked other governors for help patrolling the Texas-Mexico border. Ron DeSantis answered the call. So Ron DeSantis sending resources over to Texas to assist. Greg Abbott also said on Twitter that Idaho, all the way down there, Idaho will send state police to support our response to the border crisis and help stop drug and human smuggling. I thank Governor Little for deploying these resources. With the help of states like Idaho, we continue to fill dangerous gaps created by Biden's open border policies. That's a pretty long way. But look, when you talk about a time of emergency, and whether it is a hurricane, Washington State will often deploy National Guard troops to help with hurricane assistance, natural disasters, wildfires. We've done that for California. And to me, this is just as big of a national emergency and a national crisis. Now, I don't think we have the spare law enforcement resources like Idaho does to send our state police down there. We're a little short in that category. We have the lowest number of law enforcement per capita of any state in the country. However, we do have National Guardsmen and women who I'm sure would be eager to go down and to help with that mission. And I don't see why we wouldn't help. And this is something I've been preaching for a while, that the border crisis directly impacts us. Where do you think the fentanyl is coming up through? Where do you think these drugs that are killing people in our communities, in our streets, are coming from? And, the drug epidemic also leads to a crime epidemic in our communities. And so why would we not go and help? And of course, the answer to that is political. I've said that I think the King County executive, Seattle's mayor, the governor should be having weekly press conferences urging the Biden administration to do more at the southern border to help save lives in our state. If our politicians truly were acting in the best interest of the people they serve, they would be all over this request from Governor Greg Abbott. They would be all over it to say, you know what, we disagree politically, but we want to make sure that people who have a reason to come in can get in and seek asylum, and those who don't are not coming in to traffic people, to traffic drugs through our states. So again, it's just another example of the failure of the two-party system, of how it turns politicians into people who care more about winning and more about political party and political messaging than they do about the people that they're supposed to serve. So honestly, it is truly a shame that Governor Jay Inslee would never answer this call from Governor Greg Abbott, but won't look at the border crisis for what it really is and look at it as an opportunity to help and to save lives on the streets of our state and many other states.